Hi friend, and welcome back to Larissa's Happy Home. I am Larissa. If you are new, I am so happy you are here today. I'm happy to be here with you today. I am so excited about this video. If you clicked on this video, it is probably because you are expecting. Congratulations. And you either are in the middle of making a registry, you're not exactly sure where to start, or maybe you just had your baby and you aren't sure if you maybe have everything that you need. I'm kind of here to just kind of maybe guide you a little bit and maybe give you some advice or show you some things that maybe you haven't thought about yet. But either way, I'm super excited to get into this video, so let's just jump right in. I am 22 weeks pregnant and I am so excited. This baby was definitely a surprise. We were pretty much done with our last baby girl. We have 2 boys and a girl, and we were done. We got our girl. We were super happy. And then this one just came as a surprise. At my anatomy scan, we originally had planned that we weren't going to find out what we were having until I gave birth, and I just couldn't wait. I feel so bad. She was like, do you know what you're having? I was like, no, we're gonna wait. And she was like, do you want to know? I was like, no, we're gonna wait. And then probably about 15 minutes into the appointment, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, just tell me. And so she told me, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I told her, I was like, oh my gosh, I just feel like I cheated on my husband. I found out without him. And he was a little disappointed when I came home and I told him that I knew what it was, because I think he really wanted to find out when I gave birth. And honestly, I didn't really realize that it was that big of a deal to him, because whenever we would talk about it, he you know, my husband's really like calm and just kind of passive, so it really didn't seem like a big deal to him, but it was. But he's happy. We are actually having a baby girl. We are so over the moon. That is exactly what I wanted. I am also in the middle of creating a registry, so I figured this would be the perfect time to do a video like this to kind of share with you what I will be putting on my registry. I will have all the links down below, so if you're interested in any of those, they will be down below. So creating a baby registry is literally one of the funnest parts of having a baby, at least in my opinion. I loved creating baby registries. Before I move on, I just want to quickly say, just because I'm having my 4th does not mean I'm gonna be that one girl that's like, no, you really need to be like minimal, you don't need that much stuff. I'm not gonna tell you that. I'm not that kind of friend. If you see something that you like for your baby, and let's say you didn't get to have it for let's say you're on your 4th just like me, and you didn't get to have it for your other 3, like, I'm just gonna tell you, like, just to get it, obviously within like reasonable means. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not that one girl that's gonna tell you to be a minimalist, because I am not a minimalist. I do like holistic health. I try to live non-tox, but I'm not a minimalist. I've tried and untried. I'm still working on it, but I'm not a minimalist. So like I said, creating a baby registry is super exciting, but it can also be really stressful, because you are welcoming this most perfect little human being into your life, and you just want everything to be perfect. So like I said, I'm here to kind of guide you and just kind of to try to give you some things to think about whenever you are creating a baby registry. So the first thing that I want to kind of have you think about really quick before we dive into the actual items is just thinking about, if let's say this is your first baby, if the items that you choose you're going to be able to use later on down the road with another baby. There are some people, like let's say in my case, where I am on my 4th and this is our last baby, where am I really gonna want to go all out for certain items? I will say that with my last baby, we had a girl. So if you don't know, we have 2 boys and then our girl. We honestly thought that we were done. We didn't think we were gonna have any more kids. But there are a few things that with her, I did kind of splurge or go all out on, even though she wasn't like our first baby, you know? I think it was just because she was our first girl. And now, you know, creating a new registry for this baby, there are some things that are new that I didn't have with any of them that I'm going to be adding to that registry. So it's just some things to think about. I really don't think that you should feel guilty for wanting to put certain items on your registry just because you've already had so many kids or whatever. Because I want you to think about the fact that you can always resell whatever it is that you get for your baby. Another thing that I want you to think about is that you are not going to need everything all at once, okay? So if you're stressed out about having everything all at once, having all your ducks lined in a row, even though that is nice to have, you don't need everything all at once. So let's say, for example, like your high chair, you're not gonna need that for about 6 to I don't know, 6 months to a year. My little girl, she was nursed and she was not interested in food until she was like 10 months. So we really didn't use the high chair until she was 10 months to a year. So don't be stressed out if you don't have everything all at once. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump into the top 20-ish. I have about 22 items that I think should be on your registry. And now these are obviously my opinion, but they kind of are, I feel like, must-haves for a baby. So let's jump right in. So the number one is going to be a stroller. Now, you do have a few things that you want to think about when it comes to a stroller. Are you super active? Do you travel a lot? Are you looking for a stroller that you can attach your car seat to? Are you looking for something non-toxic? Now, don't get overwhelmed or feel like stressed out by these questions. I promise you these are things that you're going to want to think about because you're going to thank yourself later that you did. So the stroller that I purchased for my last baby girl, I will put right here. I absolutely love it. Like I said, this was a thing. Well, okay, I didn't purchase it. Sorry. My mother-in-law, she bought it for us and I'm so thankful for her. I love it because it's pink. First of all, it's rose gold. It comes with two different attachments. So it comes with like that bassinet looking, I don't even know what you would call them, but it's like a bassinet looking thing. And then I used that a lot actually when she was a newborn. We would go on walks a lot. And then it also came with like the actual, excuse me, seat attachment. And I love that too because it kind of reminds me of like the old school pram stroller. So I just loved everything about this stroller. I love the colors. It is so smooth. The tires are not plastic. They're like the it's like an actual tire that you air up. Also has the compartment underneath to store, you know, all the mom junk, all the kid junk that you store down there. It also comes with two well, it's a set. It's an attachment for your car seat. So it has, they're like I don't know, these like black little attachment things that you can set or put attached to your stroller so that way you can put your car seat. And I absolutely love that. I was very, very appreciative of that because we didn't buy like a fancy infant car seat, even though it was nice. It just wasn't like super, super fancy because the stroller was really what I was concerned and, you know, really wanted. So I was able to use that with my car seat. It doesn't take up tons of space. We have a Honda Pilot, and I don't think that it's super bulky. I think that, I mean, if you really think about it, how often or how much stuff do you have in your trunk? Actually, don't answer that because I do know a lot of people that do store a lot of stuff in their trunk, but that just goes without saying. I do feel like it's not super bulky and I love it. I feel like it's perfect. And I get compliments on it all the time. They're like, where did you get that? And they also have other like colors. They don't have just rose gold. They have other colors in the style of this stroller. So that will be linked below as well. I don't want to say that for every item. So just know that I will have everything linked below. So like I said, you just have to do your research and kind of ask yourself a few questions on what's going to be the best fit for you. I will say really quick that I do have friends who have like the Doona and they love it. They love the convenience of being able to just like pop their baby in, pop them out. But I would have to say that I was not a fan, one, because it's so low. And even though you can adjust the bar handles, I just didn't like the look of it. I didn't like how low it was. Also, it doesn't have that bottom compartment that you can put stuff in. And honestly, like taking the car seat out and putting it into the stroller, like where it has the attachments, it really wasn't that big of an issue. It takes like maybe 4 extra seconds. To me, that's not a huge inconvenience. So I really didn't see the need or want for wanting a Doona. So that's another thing to think about. Number 2, car seats. Okay, I feel like stroller and car seats kind of go hand in hand because you kind of use them together. You'll use both together eventually at some point. Now you can buy them where it comes as a set or you can buy it just individually. Like that's what we had to do because of our stroller. It didn't come with like a car seat set as a car seat set like the Doona. That's a non-toxic choice if you are looking for a non-toxic car seat. You can actually buy it separate or you can buy it with the stroller together like as a set. So if that's something, you know, if that's something that you're looking for. But if you're just wanting a car seat, I would just do a little bit of research, look and see what you like and call it a day. Okay, number 3 is a crib. So when you're buying a crib, I really want you to ask yourself, am I really going to use this? Now, there are moms out there who absolutely do love and use their cribs. I was not one of them. I used just a bassinet, and then as they got older, they just kind of transitioned into our bed. When they were infants, I co-slept. I know that's not that's a hot topic actually. But we co-sleep, and we find that it's what works best for us. And I know, like, as a first-time mom, you have that urge. I'm not going to tell you not to get the crib, but you have that urge to kind of like get all the things and have the fancy nursery or buy it new. Look, if you're going to buy a crib and you really want a crib, my advice to you, I would say to maybe find one that is used. Only because you can find really great cribs at a really good price that are very gently used, because I'm telling you, there's a lot of moms out there who buy cribs and they don't end up using them, so they're not really used, and so they sell them and you can get them on a good price. Facebook Marketplace always has tons and tons of good stuff. I would just say do research and kind of like get a good feel for who you're buying for. So with the bassinet, I had one and it was on the side of my bed, and we still have it. I'm going to use that again, but this time around with this baby, I'm going to get another one, and I'm going to have one in my room, like right next to my bed, and then a station with the crib, or the bassinet, I'm sorry, in the living room. This is just because when we had Halo, we would move the bassinet from my room to the living room, because I'm not somebody who kind of just stays in one room. I kind of go back and forth depending on what I'm doing. So I found that we were moving her quite a lot, and it wasn't inconvenient. It wasn't a big deal, but I feel like it would have been a lot easier if I had another bassinet and like a changing station in the living room. And once I get all that set up, I'm going to be showing you guys what it looks like. I'm going to be doing like a nesting video with you guys. I'm so excited about that. But really, I do feel like a bassinet is really where it's at. But that's obviously, every household is different, and that's just what worked for us. So number 4 is a bouncer and a swing. Now, this is more of a preference on which one you get, and not that you can't get both. But I feel like people normally lean towards one or the other. We opted for both, actually. With like our first, we had the Mamaroo, and we absolutely hated it. And so did our baby. It just wasn't, I'm not sure, I'm not trying to bash Mamaroo. We just didn't like it. And the more I talk to other moms, the more that I find they didn't like it either. So I'm not too sure if it was just not enough like sway for the baby. But we've had both. We've had the swing and we've had bouncers, and we find that we love both. But the thing that you're going to want to think about is with swings, usually those are going to be stationed in just one room, because it actually is inconvenient to try to move a swing from one room to another. And I feel like that's when a bouncer comes in handy. Now, you can totally get the Baby Bajorn bouncer, but I feel like there are plenty of dupes out there that they do the same thing. A lot of times people just want to pay for the name brand, and that's totally okay. I have found myself in that same boat when it comes to certain things. I do want the name brand of, certain things. I think the Baby Bajorn is around like $200, and I've seen other bouncers where they're between like 60 and like 90, that kind of area. I will be getting this bouncer. I will put it right here, and I'm really excited about it. I think it's nice. I did not get a bouncer for our last baby. I think we just had the swing, but I do want a bouncer this time around, so we're gonna be getting a bouncer. So number 5. Number 5, a baby carrier. And to me, this one is non-negotiable. I strongly believe in baby carrying. I think it's super important, and it can be really convenient when you're going somewhere and you don't, you just need to go in and out really quick, and you don't want to have to like take down your stroller. You just put your carrier on, throw your baby on, and you're good to go. And as bad as it sounds, I can't remember what or if we even had baby carriers with our first 2, but I do remember having baby carriers for our third. Forgive me, because I can't find the other piece. I'm gonna have to find it before this baby comes. But this is the carrier. You attach it around your waist, and I love this thing because so it has the other part where it clips onto here, and then you can put it over your shoulders. But this thing right here, I love this thing because even though you are essentially carrying the whole weight of your child, this right here is where they sit, and I feel like this takes a whole lot of the weight and pressure off of your back. I can't explain it, but I love this thing and I love how it works, and I really need to find my other piece to it. I have the sling. Now I use this more for like when they're older, not right when they're newborn. So I use this one typically between like the ages of like 1 and 2. This other carrier I just showed you about, I don't know, maybe like 6 months to a year. I don't have the like a wrap, you know, like the Moby wraps. I don't have one. I will be getting one this time just because that one's the one that's more like, it's more flexible and more comfier for a smaller baby. So I'm gonna be getting one this time around. Okay, number 6 is a comfy chair. Now this one is optional because you don't really need it, but it is nice to have. If you think about it, whether you're nursing or you're bottle feeding, each feeding can take anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes, just depending on the age of your baby. Obviously as they grow older, that kind of, it gets faster and faster, but you're gonna need a place to sit. And I feel like the main place or the main time a comfy chair would be like really, really needed is like during the night. So let's say if you don't co-sleep, and let's say your baby is in another room, you're gonna get up, you're gonna go to that room, and then what? You're gonna bring them back into your bed and then nurse them or feed them and then take them back. Like it's a lot, especially when you're like, during the night, you're in the thick of it, you're tired, like you're exhausted. It would just be nice to have a nice chair in their nursery where you can sit, feed, and then put them back, go to sleep. Or if you, let's say, are nursing, in my situation, my baby girl, she's 2 years old and she's still in our bed. So co-sleeping with this baby is not going to be an option, unfortunately. So I will have to have a chair to be able to get up and nurse and then put baby back in her little bassinet. So a chair for me is going to be a must. Like I said, if you can't afford one or nobody gets it for you off your registry, don't be bummed. It's really not, it's not that big of a deal, but it does help. Okay, number 7 is a humidifier. So this one I feel like is something you're definitely going to want to get because little ones do get sick. They get colds, they get coughs, or even sometimes they get the flu. They just get stuffy. And if you take your baby to the doctor, regardless of what else they tell you to do, I'm telling you, they're going to tell you to get a humidifier and turn it on. Just because with babies, no matter which approach you take, whether you're more like on the holistic side or you're on the more conventional medicine, modern, there's really not much that you can do or give to your baby. So a humidifier I feel like is going to be a huge win for when your baby is really, really little. Number 8 is going to be a baby bath. You're gonna need somewhere to clean their little stinky cute booties, okay? I have this one and I love it. It has a shower, like a shower stream feature, and I absolutely love that feature. It is so cool. I opted for this one instead of something like this because, well, one, in our main bathroom, in our room, it's a walk-in shower. And then 2, in our other bathroom, we do have a tub, but my thing was like, having to fill up the tub, and then you have to fill it up only so much like with water in order to make sure that your baby was like in the water so that way they stayed warm. It just was a lot to me. That was a lot. I know there's moms who love that one, but to me it was just like a waste of water. I'm not somebody who, oh my gosh, let's save the water. I'm just saying, like, why waste that much water if you don't really need to? What I would do is I would just put the bath on the counter and I would take her a bath that way, and it's what worked for me. It was very convenient. Also, like, I hated with my first 2 having to take them baths because it broke my back. It broke my back, and I just hate having to lean over the tub, trying to wash them, trying to get them clean while also trying to make sure that they don't drown. Like, just all the things. Like, I hated taking babies baths in the actual tub. So I opted for an actual baby tub, and it's just worked great for me. If you think that having a baby bath that's just a little like netted one, you go for it, do you. And if you don't like it, you could always try it. You could always try a tub. If you try the tub and let's say that you're like, I don't really like this, you could always try the other one. It's not like it's not like you're in contract where you have to stay with the same baby bath forever. So it's just what you think is gonna work for you. And along with that, you want to have, you're gonna want like shampoo, body wash, laundry detergent. You're gonna want like a baby safe sunscreen. And I will put some of those things that like what we use, what I love. I will have that also linked below. I use the Attitude brand. I use that for pretty much everything in my house. We have the laundry detergent. We've got the toothpaste. We have the body wash, shampoo. I really love that brand. There's other brands. It's just because they're more on the cleaner side. I do try to stay mindful of like ingredients and things like that. So if you are into that, I highly suggest trying Attitude. I love it. Number 9 is a boppy pillow. I kind of feel like these kind of just go without saying, and for good reason. I loved using mine when I got home from the hospital, when I was tired during the late night feedings. I didn't have the energy to hold my baby up. I feel like it was just super helpful to have, and so I highly suggest you put a boppy on your registry. There are tons out there. There's the standard ones. This is the one that I have. I love it. I love my cover. It's so beautiful. There are some that it like opens on the inside and you can change the height of it. I've never found those necessary. I've always felt like this has always worked great for me, so this is just what I use. If you feel like, maybe if you're taller, I think if you're taller, you might want to maybe try to opt for one where you can stack or unstack, just because of the height difference. But like I said, this one's always worked for me. I will say, you will want to also not only put the boppy pillow, but you will want to have a couple covers. Babies can get messy and things can get messy, and so you don't want to have your boppy pillow uncovered while you're washing your cover. You want to make sure that you're able to switch out your covers, just so that way you kind of keep things nice, crisp, and clean. So yeah. Okay, number 11, and this one is a big one. It's a diaper pail. This one is non-negotiable, like absolutely non-negotiable, okay? You absolutely need this. You're probably thinking that you can just use a trash can. No, don't do that. Trust me. And if I'm being honest, I used to think that diaper pills were really gross because, I mean, yes, what they hold is really gross, but the concept of a diaper pill is just amazing. And if you're on the fence because you're like, well, I don't want to have to buy the refills, there's diaper pills where you can use just like regular trash bags. But to be honest with you, if you just buy like the Genie, I seen a pack of 4 of the refills on Amazon for like $12, which really isn't that bad. And it has a filter to like filter out the smells and stuff. Do yourself a favor. I promise you're gonna be so happy that you did just get a diaper pill. Number 11, diapers and wipes. This is one thing that I feel like can be really finicky because it just depends on your baby, on what is going to work for them. Some babies' skin are very, very sensitive and some aren't. So you could always just opt for or ask for gift cards when it comes to that. Obviously, you are going to want to make sure that you are ready and prepared with some sort of diaper. I highly recommend the Rascal and Friends. I get them from Walmart. Don't get them from Amazon. For some reason, they want like $40-50 a box. Don't do that. Go to Walmart. It's the only thing that I shop at Walmart really for. It's like $20 a box. It's super cheap, and I love them because I feel like they're pretty clean. You're not going to get completely away from all the things that diapers carry unless you go cloth diapering. I feel like they're better than Millie Moon. They're free from chlorine, which I really appreciated because we had a little girl, and you know, they don't have any phthalates, dioxins, pesticides. I will say that I know like Millie Moon, they're free from a few of those things, but they switched from being totally chlorine free to, I think it's called ECF. I think it's elementally chlorine free, which just means that they have a little bit of chlorine in them. And in my opinion, the feel of the Rascal and Friends diaper is so soft. I love that because there is a diaper that I had tried from Target. I think it was called Parasol. It was called Parasol, and they were a cleaner diaper, but they felt like paper. I don't like that. I can totally appreciate the feel of these. They're just, I don't know, they just feel so soft. I promise you'll love them. So if you've been wondering what kind of diaper you want to use, I highly recommend these. If you're not super concerned about having like, you know, a cleaner diaper, just go with one that you know that you like, a reputable brand. Now, one thing I will say about diapers, this is just my opinion, don't go and put tons and tons and tons of different brands on your registry unless you're like, you know what, I'm a new mom, I really need to try to figure out what I'm gonna like, what my baby's gonna like, what they're gonna adapt to. What I would do is I would do some good amount of research. Diapers are something that your baby is going to be in for a while. Like I said, once your baby gets here, you can do all the research that you want, and once your baby gets here, that diaper that you think is gonna work, it might not. I just don't think that it overall works great when you have tons and tons of different brands of diapers on your registry. I think if you were going to do that, I would just say opt for gift cards instead. But if you maybe put maybe 2 max, maybe 3, I would say 2 max, 2 brands, just because you don't want tons and tons and tons. It confuses people. The wipes, I use the Mama Cozy brand. I love this brand. It is a water wipe. I love them because 1, they're pretty big, and 2, like I said, it's a water wipe. But I love this because it has, I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but they've got like these little dimple dots, I guess you could say, and it just helps with the grip of when you're wiping your baby. I've tried some other, I think I've tried the actual water wipes brand, and they feel like paper, and when I would go to wipe, my hand would slip sometimes. So I totally appreciate the fact that the texture of this, it's high quality. I love it. We are on a subscription through Amazon. I feel like if there's something that you know that you're going to need for however long, I highly recommend just doing a subscription for it, because you're going to need it anyways. We don't have tons of subscriptions for stuff, but like things like this, like a wipe, you're going to need that. So we just have a subscription. You get it for a little bit cheaper. So if you are unsure of what kind of wipe to use, I promise you won't be disappointed. I feel like you should at least give this one a try. Now, I'm going to piggyback a little bit on the diapers and wipes. There is an option for you to get like a wipey warmer. I've had one for every one of my kids. You know, I could take it or leave it. It didn't do much for me. I feel like it's just not something that was like necessary. If you're a new mom and you absolutely want one, go for it. I feel like they would dry out like the next day. So I found myself constantly having to pour water into them so that way they would stay moisturized. That they would stay moisturized, that they would stay wet. And honestly, unless like you have your house like at 60 degrees, like in the wintertime, then maybe you want one. But other than that, it's really not necessary. Number 12 is a changing pad. So you're gonna need some sort of place to change your baby's bottom. Some people use the bed, and that's totally okay. It's not like you absolutely need a designated space to change their diaper. Although I will say it is very, very, very helpful. You'll have your diapers, your wipes, your bottom cream, whatever it is, you'll have it in one space or one place. And let's say during the middle of the night, you need to change the baby's diaper. You put them on the bed, you got to get up, go get the diaper, come back. What if the baby has a rash and you don't know? Then you got to get back up to go get, the cream. I just feel like you should have a designated place to change their diaper. Or like, let's say if you are during the night, which I'll be getting one of these. I didn't have any for my other babies, but I really do want one this time. I'm going to do like the rolling caddies. I'm going to actually have 2. So I'm going to have one in the living room and one for the bedroom for usually like nighttime. What we did for our changing table was we have like a really long dresser, and it's waist high. And so I bought this Moses basket type thing, and it came with a mattress, a little thin mattress insert. It's not super thin, it actually has good thickness to it. It came with the insert. And then I had bought these they're crib sheets, but I use them for the bassinet, and I just put one over it. That's where I would go to change the baby during the day. During the night, I did change the baby on the bed, and I would just have like diapers and wipes in the bassinet. So that way I didn't have to get up to go get the stuff. And this really worked for us. This time around, I'm going to be getting something kind of like the Peanut. I'm not getting the Peanut because I'm not really interested in paying for the name brand, but I do want something that's going to be easier to just change them and kind of just wipe down and be able to go. So number 13 is crib sheets, blankets, and burp cloths. You're going to need all of them. Now, crib sheets, it just depends on what you're getting. If you're going to get a crib, if you're going to get bassinet, the size, all that matters. All you really need is all I did was get a 3-pack, and I was able to use them 1 in the bassinet, 2 on the changing table, and 3 on my stroller in that little, I don't know what it's called, but it's like a little, I'll put another picture. I forgot what it's called. But I put it on that, and it worked out great. I threw it in the washer whenever it needed to be washed, and they have actually held up pretty great. I don't think I'm gonna have to order anymore for this baby. I will just use what we already have. Blankets, I wouldn't go particularly crazy with unless there is something that you see that you would just absolutely must have and really want. Blankets are kind of something that I feel like people just kind of throw into their gift, like for your baby shower. It just kind of rounds out their gift. So I feel like you're gonna get a lot of blankets. So unless, like I said, it's something that you really want and just have to have, then put it on your registry. But other than that, I probably wouldn't. Like if it was like a like one of those customizable blankets, definitely put one of those. I think they're super cute. If you have to have and want to put something like a muslin blanket, I highly recommend the super, super big ones and not the small ones, because all the small ones really do and offer is just like a large burp cloth. You really can't do nothing with it. So I highly recommend just going for the larger sized muslin blankets. Now, burp cloths, I feel like there's women that are like, no, you only need like 2, and there's women that like, you need like 20. I'm kind of in between. I feel like you need a good amount depending on how you're going to be feeding your baby. If you're nursing, I don't think that you're going to need a ton. I do know that when we bottle fed our first 2, we went through them pretty often. So if you know that you're just not doing the whole nursing journey, I would definitely say you need at least between 10 to 15 burp cloths. That might seem excessive, but I think you'll thank me later. Even if you are nursing, I still think it's a good idea to have some on hand because babies do spit up. It happens. That's just what they do. So number 14, clothing, swaddles, and sleep sacks. So I feel like this kind of goes hand in hand with the whole blankets thing. Clothing, you're just automatically going to get at your shower. Like, it's just something that people do. It's just something that people buy. And honestly, it's something that they can't help themselves from buying. I mean, I know whenever I go to the store and I know I have like a pregnant friend or something, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so cute. That would look so cute on their baby. So it's just something that you are naturally going to get. And so like I said, with the whole blankets thing, again, with the clothing thing, if there's something, an outfit that you see that you just absolutely have to have and you want it, you want to put on your registry, put it on there, but just, I wouldn't go crazy. Now, a sleep sack, I feel like I can't give like a not a wholehearted opinion, but like I don't have a huge opinion because I didn't use them. I used it like maybe once or twice, and I just felt like it was just too heavy for my baby. The one that I had, it was like a weighted one. And I know me, if I have anything like too heavy on me, I just start to feel like I can't breathe and like I hate it. So I was like, I could only imagine what she feels like. So I really didn't use it. I know there's moms out there who love them. So I would say just do your research, find something that you like, and if you do plan on using it, then put whatever you do like on your registry. Number 15 is a hamper. I think this is another non-negotiable item. Baby's clothing is just so small. Like, I know that when I would throw a load in with like our regular load, because I use the same, dishwasher, oh my God. I use the same detergent for all of our clothes, and it's the, the cleaner one. I would just throw, when I didn't feel like having to sort out all this stuff, I would throw them in together, and there was socks that I would never ever find again because they're just so tiny. And I feel like when you first have a baby, you got so much going on. You really do. And like, you just want your life to be, you just want to make it as easy as you can for yourself. And so I think that organizing clothes and doing laundry in an organized way is really going to help you stay focused. You're going to stay organized, and it just going to help you with your mental health. I know it sounds funny, like a hamper, but it really is going to help you in the long run. Okay, number 16 is a diaper bag. You absolutely are going to need something to carry your baby's stuff in, something to carry your stuff in. And this is one of the funner ones that you get to kind of look around and play around with. I feel like a lot of people now are using bags that aren't even like diaper bags per se as their diaper bags. Like, they'll just go to like Coach and buy like a bag or a backpack for it. So it really just depends on what you're looking for. I have had, I feel like, tons of diaper bags. I've had Jujube, I've had Petunia Pickle Bottom, I've had like off-brand ones from Amazon. I currently have that I got with Halo, I got a Mina Bae, and I absolutely love it. Now, this is not something that you have to splurge on, but I would say that if you can splurge on it, and it's something that you want to splurge on, I highly recommend you doing that. It's going to be with you for at least 2 years. So I would recommend doing some research into kind of like the styles and what you're looking to get out of your diaper bag. I have a Mina Bae and I love it. I feel like the space inside is just great for everything that I put into it. It really looks so classy, so elegant, so sophisticated. So I I recommend that one. I don't have any kind of like affiliate with them. I'm just saying I really love it. Now, one thing that I will say that you need to get are these organizing cubes. These have been such a lifesaver. One I have, let's see, this is the beige one. This comes in a pack of 3, and this is a larger one. I have a medium one and then a smaller one. Then I also got a pack in black. And it comes with a large, a medium, and a small. And I just use them for different things depending on what I need. So like this one is my stuff. It's all my lip gloss. It's got my algae balm, my eyebrow and eyelash balm, mosquito repellent. It's got my chapstick. It's got all this stuff. One thing that I highly, highly recommend you doing is getting some sort of bag for like your diapers. This is just so that way whenever you're out and about somewhere, whether you're at church or you're like at a restaurant, you don't have to take your whole diaper bag with you. You have this little cute pouch, and all you have to do is just take this out and go. One thing I will say too is that you're gonna want a good changing pad, like an on-the-go changing pad. My friend bought this for me and I'm so grateful for her. I have loved it because it's thin and it's easy to wipe down, and it literally fits inside this little travel cube. So definitely gonna want to do that. It's gonna make your life a whole lot easier. And I love these. These have held up really great. I was thinking about if I was gonna have to buy like another set of them for this baby, but I'm not going to because I have 2 sets and they really have held up super, super great. Number 17, I hope this video isn't super long. I'm trying to hurry, but I just love talking about this kind of stuff. So number 17 is baby bottling items. You are going to need to feed your baby. If you're not doing the whole nursing thing, you're going to need bottles. And bottles are kind of also like the whole diaper thing where it's like an individual baby thing to see if the baby's going to like them. I've never had any issues with my first 2 because we bottle fed them. I never had any issues with them being like picky about which bottle we used for them. But I will say that with my first, I just hated having to clean them all the time. I really did. And then like if we lost one and you find it like a week later, you guys know the smell is horrible when you have to go and clean it. Not only that, but there's just tons and tons of parts of a bottle. And I understand that's just how a bottle is made. But with our second, we ended up finding these, and the brand is called Kind, and it's basically like a pouch bottle, and we absolutely loved it. We got about 3 uses out of each pouch, and then we would just toss it. It saved us from having to keep on cleaning the bottles and just having to deal with all that comes with the responsibility of having bottles. So we absolutely love them. I highly recommend looking into them. They are plastic, they're BPA free, but they are plastic. So if you're looking to stay away from plastic, I highly recommend. Obviously you're just gonna have to go with a glass bottle. But we loved them and it worked for us. I cannot say enough good about them. I know that there are some insurances actually who will cover the bags, so I would definitely look into that. Along with the bottles, you can get a baby drying rack. You're not gonna dry your baby on it. Like a bottle drying rack. I'm so sorry. I have really bad pregnancy brain right now. You're gonna want a bottle drying rack. You don't need a super huge one unless you think you're gonna need one. I just think that it's great to have all your bottling items and needs just in one place. Just because like when we had our first, we would put them, if we had dishes on our like the regular drying rack for dishes, we would put the bottles on top, and then like the nipples, they would end up all the way at the bottom or somewhere on the floor. I don't know, it just didn't work. So I would definitely recommend getting a small drying rack, or like I said, if you feel like you're gonna need a big one, then go ahead and get a big one. But I do think, like I said, it's good to have all your bottling needs in one place. All right. Number 18, teethers and passies. You'll definitely want teethers. Your babies are going to get teeth at some point in their lives, and they're definitely going to want something to just kind of rub and like chew their little gummies on. So you're definitely going to want some. Passies are kind of a whole different issue. Some babies take them, some don't. So what I will say with passies is I would buy 2 different brands just to start out with, do some research on pacifiers. I feel like with research though, it really just depends on your baby. So I would just find some cute ones, maybe some silicone ones, and see if your baby likes them, if they even want to take a passy, and place them on your registry and call it a day. Number 19 is nursing items. So nursing items that you're going to want are going to be things like nursing pads, nipple butter, cold compresses that you could put to kind of ease that tenderness that comes with nursing. Nipple shields. If you're going to pump, you're going to want a breast pump, and most insurances will cover a breast pump. I believe that's at 27 weeks. So you're going to want to give them a call and see what they offer. And a lot of them, they offer really good pumps now. So I would definitely take advantage of that. I had gotten one, like the wall pump for through my insurance, and then I ended up getting the Mom Cozy one. I really loved it. I found the pumping part really helped me through my nursing journey, because when I felt like I wanted to give up, I would just pump and she would take the bottle, which was great until, you know, everything kind of got better. If you know what nursing is like, you know it feels like you're going to war. So I will say do not give up because it is so rewarding. You're going to want nursing bras. I never found a nursing bra that I absolutely loved. I had just grabbed some from Target. This time around, there are some that I have seen some women buying and I really want to try, which are these. I do feel like you do need 2 different types of nursing bras. Only because when you're at home, you don't want anything that's going to feel like super restricting. But then when you're out and about, you want something that's going to kind of give you more support. So there are 2. So there is this one. This one's going to be for when you are out and about. You want something a little more supportive. And then there are these that you just want to kind of like, you know, be at home. There's women that will buy the ones where you could just pull down and it doesn't have the clasp. I've never really found an issue with having to deal with the clasp. The clasp you just take off, put on. It's really not that big of a deal, but if it really means that much to you, there are some where they don't have that clasp and it's just kind of like a sports bra and you just pull it down. There's tons out there. You just have to just look it up. But like I said, the clasp has never been that big of an issue for me. Okay, number 20, you're gonna want a nose sucker. This one I feel like is really controversial. I don't know why, but I love it. It comes like this and you just turn it on. And it has 3 different settings. It also it comes with 3 different types of like nose silicone shapes. I just found like this one was best. I don't know if it's gonna, there you go. Like that shape was best for our baby's nose. If you go to the hospital, ask for their nose bulb suckers because those work great. Also, there is a little like nose picker. I definitely feel like you need to add that to your registry because your fingers are huge and you really can't get all up in there. So having that is really, really, really great. It's going to be really convenient for you to have. Okay, number 21, we're almost there, you guys. You're going to need a thermometer. This kind of just goes without saying. This is the one that we have. We love it. And I really get what you think is going to work for you. There's people that don't like the ones where it's like a no touch because they feel like it's not accurate. We have never had that issue. But that's just us. We've never had that issue. We of course have the ones where like you can do under the tongue or under the armpit. We've never had to use it because the other ones, the one that we have, it's pretty accurate and we love it. So it just works. Okay, number 22, you're gonna need dresser drawer organizers. This is so that way you can have your baby's items organized within your dresser if you do plan on doing that, or if they're gonna have their own dresser. You can put their socks, you can put their little leggings, you can put bows, tights, sweatpants. It's just super helpful to help you stay organized. Another thing that's really nice to have, and this is, I probably should have talked about this when I had the diaper, when I talked about the diapers, but we have this, somebody gave this basket to us as a gift for our baby shower, and they had like the gift inside. I ended up using this for our changing station in our room. So I have everything that I need right there. I have my baby cream. I make my own baby butt cream. It's just really convenient. It's nice to have. And so I really think that you're going to need something like this to kind of stay organized and keep all your stuff in one place. Number 23, you're going to need to take care of yourself. You're going to need some postpartum items. You are going to need, there's this postpartum kit, and it's nice to have. It's got everything that you're going to need in it. And it's just nice if somebody gets it for you, because I'm pretty sure you would get yourself it, but it'd be nice if somebody were to get it for you. Labor and delivery outfit. You are going to want to think about that. One thing I want you to think about is that labor and delivery is very messy, so it just depends on if you want to wear a cute little gown while you're giving birth and then come home and clean it. Some women do. I never did that with any of my other ones, but I think I'm going to do that with this one. I will talk about more of like the whole like hospital delivery things in another video. I'll do like a I'll show you what I'm gonna pack for my hospital bag. All right, and finally, sorry, this is the real last one, gift cards. I would just say it would be nice for you to have some gift cards on there for either food or like Walmart or Target, places you know that you don't really want to have to get down to go shop, but mainly food, because when you have your baby, you bring your baby home, you're really not going to want to be cooking and doing all the things in the kitchen. So I highly suggest put a couple gift cards on there. People are going to want to bless you in that kind of way. So just put them on there. It's going to make your life so much easier, and you're going to thank yourself that you did. It wasn't on my list, but I promise you, last thing, you're going to want this, okay? You're going to need a nail filer just like this. You do not want to buy the little nail clippies. You do not want to clip their little skin. I feel like those are a thing of the past. Just get the little nail shaver, and like they're soft on your skin. Like they're not gonna hurt the baby. It's not like it's like a rough like sandblaster or something. So you're definitely gonna want that, because it's just gonna help you with you know how babies like to scratch and stuff. You can't keep mitts on them forever. So it's definitely gonna come in handy, and it's gonna be something that you definitely want to have on your registry. But I really hope that this video was a blessing to you. I just wanted to kind of help either first-time moms, or if this is your fourth baby, help you kind of get an idea of what you need again. So those are my top 20-ish items that I feel like every mom should have on their registry. It's going to help you guys in the long run. And please let me know if there was anything on here that I did not mention that you feel is a must-have for a registry. So if it helped you in any kind of way, I would really appreciate it if you'd give me a big thumbs up, and if you would subscribe, so that way I can see you on my next video. So until then, guys, bye.